Hey everybody, it's me, Alex, Senior Vice President here over at Jet Lending, and today we're going to go over how to calculate your profits. Why is this important? Well, one, you're doing this as a business, you're doing this to generate wealth, and you're doing this to get some financial freedom. So, of course, you want to know how much money you're going to make, especially when you're flipping real estate. But the other reason why you should learn how to calculate your profit margins before you buy real estate is this also allows you to have an understanding about how much you can pay for a single investment, knowing your top number, knowing how much you have to make allows you to negotiate quickly in real time, especially in this market. You know, people that find deals right now, and you have to move quickly and you have to execute quickly. So understanding how much money you want to make and how much money you need to make is important so you can negotiate better on how to buy the property. So you're always, like I tell people, when you're doing a real estate investor and you're starting to grow your wealth, you have to take your consumer hat off and you got to put your investor hat on. Okay, so everything is should be thought of in terms of profit, not cost. So I'm going to show you guys how to calculate profit prior to buying the property, so you can see what you need to be in these properties for. Okay, so let me show you something, and we'll get started. So I made this little calculator. Now, if you need something like this, let me know. We'll help you out. But this is what I look at when I'm buying real estate and seeing what my profit margins on, especially if I'm using a lender like Jet Lending, because you have to calculate your net profit. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. So if you guys haven't read the Houston Business Journal that came out, I think yesterday or so, the average house right now that's selling is about $400,000 ARV, or not ARV, $400,000 price. Okay, so let's take a property like that. Let's look. We have a property that's going to be worth $400,000 when we fix it up. So I'm going to show you math in real time. Okay, so you guys can see how much you can buy these properties for, how much money you need, how much money you could make. Let's make an argument that you're buying this for $220,000 because this house is banged up. Now, I know some of you guys are saying, yeah, good luck finding that. You got to remember, when you're buying real estate, investment real estate, not real estate to just live in, it's about 2 to 4% of the market. So when you are looking for homes, you're looking for that 2 to 4% distressed market. Okay, so this property needs about $75,000 in repairs. For about a $400,000 house, let's say the property taxes are about $12,000, and you have a lender like Jet Lending, you're going to hold those repairs in escrow because you want them for your draws for repairs. Okay, on average, you're paying about 3% origination. You're at 8.9% interest-only payments without any penalty for early payoff. All right, so you look at your term sheets, and the reason why we're going to get it, because you have to know these numbers to do the math. You got your origination fees, your legal fees. You got to pay title. This is not a lender fee, so you have to pay your title company for closing, any kind of processing fees. You get your total cost. So it looks like this buyer would have been $28,955 out of pocket at closing. And let me show you something. If you buy these properties for less, let's say $200,000, you're going to see something here. So it's down to $8,000. You bought it for $190. You're $0 out of pocket. And we're going to do a video on how to buy real estate in this market with $0 out of pocket. I do it every day with my clients. All right, so let's put this back at 220. Let's see what this comes out at. Okay. So we have all of our property information. We have all of our closing doc information. We have all our fees. So let's say you're coming out of pocket $28,955. You're like, you know what? I'm going to buy this as a flip. Now we start looking at profits. All right. So this is what I mean. You cannot. It's not like one of those the TV shows you see on TV. Like they're in California and they're going to buy this property for $600,000 and they're going to put $100,000 in it and they're going to sell it for $800,000. So they made $100,000 in profit. No, they didn't. So I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show you why you have to do this way so you guys can have a better outcome for your business, so you guys can not just get rich, but get wealthy. All right, so first you have this $280,000 loan. Now it's 70% of the after repaired value. So you got a lien against this property that when you sell it, that lien has to be paid off. You're using Jet Lending, we're the lien holder because we're the lender. So you got to pay that $280 back the day you close it, the day you sell the property to the end buyer, or if you're refinancing, that lien has to be paid off. Okay, and we're going to sell it for $400,000. Great, I made 85 grand. No, you didn't. I'm going to show you why. So let's say it took you, on average, let's say it takes about $7,000 a week for repairs right now. So if you had $75,000 in repairs divided by 7,000, it'd take you about 10 weeks, all right, in just repairs, okay? So that's about a little over, it's about 2.5 months. You put it on the market. In this market, things are flying off the shelves. So you contract it really quickly. So let's say that puts you at 3 months. But your buyer is using like a conventional lender. So let's put you at 60 days from closing. So that'll put you at 5 months. So just to be on the fair side, let's say that you were in the loan for 6 months. Well, you have your interest-only payments. That $3,076.67, you have to pay yourself back every penny you put in the deal. That includes your holding costs. A lot of times people forget, like, your utilities. You got a bunch of people in there with power tools, using the bathroom, you're still watering the lawn, if you got a pool, all that kind of stuff. So you have utilities, your electric's on, your gas is on if you have gas appliances. You got to have your water running, all that kind of stuff, and that costs something. So let's say that this is a bigger house. So let's say it was $200 a month. Okay, you got your floors in, you got to put the AC unit in, so the AC got to be running, that kind of stuff. You got to think about that. Okay, the agent selling commission. A lot of you are going to tell me, well, Alex, I'm an agent. I don't need to spend 6%. I understand where you're coming from. My opinion is, you being a real estate agent is a separate business. Those revenue for that business should stay in a separate column. So even if you charge yourself 3% and take that money or not, you still have to put that in a different category, in my opinion. But those that do not have an agent, I recommend that you use an agent. So let's say that your agent finds the buyer and the seller, or you just have a listing agent and a buyer's agent comes on. Either way, let's say you paid 6%. Because if it works at 6%, it's going to work less from there. The second, closing cost. Usually, well, in this market, who knows? But usually the seller pays the closing cost on the second transaction. Okay, so let's say you did pay the closing cost, and that was $6 grand. All right, so you're paying the closing cost. So you got to pay yourself back that $6 grand. You got to pay yourself back that 6%. You got to pay yourself back that $200 a month. That's 200 times 6. Okay, you got to pay yourself back the monthly payments you did. Your first out-of-pocket closing for your first part of the loan, when you closed it with like a hard money lender, was 28 grand. You got to pay yourself back that $28,955. Let's say there was an HOA fee of $100 a month. You got to make sure you're in compliance with the HOA. Before this the inventory crash happened, where there's no real estate to buy for like consumers, it was reasonable to have a 3% seller's contribution. I have not seen that lately. So I'm not going to put that in for just today's market, but we can look at it if you like. So if you got a deal, because this is what a lot of you guys are going to talk about. Well, I'm not paying 29 grand out of pocket for my flip. Would you pay $29,000 if you had to pay your $280,000 loan off? You had to pay yourself back every penny of interest that you paid into the deal. You paid yourself back 6 months of interest payments. You paid yourself back the 6% agent fee that you paid, your closing costs, your out-of-pocket costs, your HOA fees, everything in. Would you pay 29 grand to make $40,785 in 6 months? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And that's why I'm trying to show you this math, because some of you right now are saying, Alex, where do I sign? I want that property. I'm going to do that deal. I'll make 40 grand in 6 months. Some of you are saying, no, I'd have to be around 50 or 60 to do that deal. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you do this math and you're like, you're not hot on this number, there's multiple variables in buying investment real estate. If I can get it through you that buying investment real estate is just math, you're going to make more money. I'm going to show you how. So if you go back to the loan and you negotiate this purchase price back down to 210, let's say you make an argument to the seller, you're promising a fast closing, and you do that, you're making $50,000. Purchase price is the only variable that you can control. You cannot control how long it's going to take to rehab the property. Even though you should manage your contractors, who knows? There could be supply issues, permitting issues. You can't manage that as an unknown variable. Though it's a variable, it's not something that you could easily manage. You can't dictate how much it's going to be worth after it's rehabbed. You can use your comparables, you're going to use your appraisers, all this kind of stuff, but it's going to deem within the market, once it's repaired, what the property is worth. So yes, you have a good idea, but you can't control that variable. The only thing you can control is purchase price, and that's going to dictate how your profit swings. So if we went back to our original 220 number, I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, so you did 220, you're making 40,000. Like, that is fantastic. There's a reason why I tell people to have at least 3 exit strategies for a flip property. Okay, something happens, market softens, or who knows, and you have to figure out a cutoff date for yourself. So let's say it's not selling for any reason. You hit 9 months, you just lost 10 grand because you have to pay yourself back the interest you paid. Your holding costs increased. Okay, you only sell it for 380. That's why you should be very conservative in your estimate on the value. Okay, so that means you're going to take the last 6 to 12 months of comparable sales. You don't take the spike. You take what's average sold in the market, so you can compile a good data set. We're also going to do a class on how to comp investment real estate. Okay, so as you can see, the math changes. All this is math. So if you can figure out how much money you need to make, you can work out these numbers so you can actually know how much you can pay for something, so you could move quickly and contract those properties faster. Okay, so here we go. So this is anytime we do things like this, I know some people aren't used to this. This is live. So if you ever ask any questions or need any help with anything, you can feel free to comment below. We'll see it. We'll answer all your questions. If it's just going to be like, well, I don't want to do it in public, call us, text us, email us, sit down with us, whatever you need, so we can help you generate a team and grow your knowledge so you can actually buy more real estate, become wealthier, and have more money in your pocket to do more deals. Well, until next time, we'll see you probably tomorrow, where we'll continue on educating you and helping you grow your business and grow your wealth. You have a good day.